What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and I'm here with
Gersh1.
And as always, we're here to answer questions from you guys in another installment that we, us, them, they like to call For the Greater WAAAGH.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, just comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get those questions first. And that is what Volsung Thorson did. He says, how do Custodes replenish their ranks? Good question.
Yeah, so basically the inception of the Custodes is that the Emperor handmade each and every one of the first 1,000? Or was it 10,000?
300.
Was it 300?
I thought it was 300, but I mean, it might be 1,000.
Yeah, so anyway, he handmade them, made them super strong, super durable. Literally the best, the strongest fighting force the Imperium has ever seen. Maybe even up to this day. Which chances are probably yes. But again, I could go into a whole wishy-washy as to how sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're really weak, sometimes only 1,000 can take on 100,000 orcs, sometimes 2 possessed can take out like 20 of them.
Yeah.
So everything, the power scaling is all over the place. But when it comes to recruitment, I believe, as long as this is still canon, or maybe it's not anymore, they used to get children from the High Lords of Terra at like a very young age and basically raise them up to be these strong custodians.
Yeah, unlike the Space Marines that usually they wait for them to hit like at or puberty, so like at 11 years old, the Adeptus Custodes is actually, they start like when they are still infants, so like 1 or 2 years old. Mm-hmm. And then they obviously become Adeptus Custodes a lot quicker. And yeah, that's how they do it. Nothing to it.
Yeah, which is interesting because like in order to become a Space Marine, like it's very, very rare for somebody to survive the process. Not just that, but different types of chapters have different types of recruitment methods. Like with the Blood Angels, you have to like drink blood. Over in Space Wolves, you got to do some crazy stuff on Fenris, survive by yourself, and there's trials and tribulations. So if you could see how crazy it is to become a Space Marine, you could already imagine how pretty much impossible it is to become a custodian.
Right, yep. You have to basically be born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
2.
There's a TikToker that I saw, and he was explaining, because I said the silver spoon in my mouth, so that got me thinking about like how rich the High Lords were. And he was explaining that like you could actually break down to see how wealthy Smaug from the Lord of the Rings or from the Hobbit is, and it turns out that he probably has equivalent to $9 billion or $9 billion of wealth that he's like hoarding. And if you compare that to like the richest people in the world, like Jeff Bezos, he's 75 billion. Think about that. Like, we fantasize about being as rich as Smaug, but this guy really is, like, in real life.
Yeah.
So, like, he really is a High Lord of Terra. Mm-hmm. Jeff Bezos.
I mean, he's going to space with his broski, isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't take the risk if I was that rich.
To go into space?
Yeah.
I think at a certain point you just feel like you're God.
I think he surpassed that a while back.
Next question.
This one is by Nikoe. If the Sensei were still canon, would it be possible for them to become Space Marines? So we talked about the Sensei in the latest For the Greater WAAAGH, and basically what they are is they're the legit children of the Emperor. They're blanks, they're really strong. I guess it would be possible for them to go the process of becoming a Space Marine, but I don't know if it would be necessary, because they're already strong and unique in their own way. And to risk having one die during the process would probably be too big of a blow. But at the same time, maybe the end result is worth that tipping of the scales.
Right, yeah. The risk.
Mm-hmm.
Next question comes from Timothy Armstrong. Are there any guardsmen units that you wish had more respect and talked about? Pretty much every single regiment other than the Cadian Guards.
Yeah.
So, and the Death Corps of Krieg, and then the Death Corps of Krieg is really, really popular right now, but I think that's just online. Mm-hmm. I feel like their lore can be matched by other regiments. I just wish GW would pay more attention to those regiments.
Yeah, I've always wondered why they haven't given like a upgrade sprue to have like catachans or any other different type of regiment, because it's always the plain old Cadian Guard.
Yeah. Or at least that's the cheapest.
Yeah. You could go to Forge World to do all this other stuff, but the price is just insurmountable. And it's like you're paying like so much money for a guardsman that literally gets taken out in the snap of a finger.
Yeah, and even the stuff that they do have on the GW store, it's outdated, so they look kind of goofy.
Although they are coming out with a new sprue really soon, with like new head options, weapons and whatnot. So
for the Cadian Guard, though.
Exactly. Small steps in the right direction, but huge leaps back.
That's why to get inspiration, I like to go onto Instagram and like I follow Iron Sleet and just like a bunch of other really awesome people on Instagram that kit bash their own regiments, and it just looks amazing.
Yeah, kit bashing, third party, even like people who just get green stuff and like sculpt their own.
Yeah.
Like it's just crazy, the imagination and creativity of these guys.
And the talent.
Yes, the talent. Angel Amaro. What Space Marine chapter do you think sucks? I think the Space Wolves suck because they base everything around wolves, and it's cringy as hell. Particularly when Lehman Russ said he will return at the wolf hour. Man, that's dumb as hell. Love the content, keep it up, and enjoy some Malort for me.
Oh, damn. Yeah. I agree. I think Space Wolves are a little corny.
Yeah. I do like the fact that they ride wolves into battle, but I agree where it's like, you don't have to name everything wolf. Like, I got the wolf sword and the wolf spear and my wolf bolter.
Yeah. It really is a chapter for children, because that was our first
that is true.
chapter.
Yeah. I'll say the Ultramarines. They're kind of bland, generic.
Mm-hmm.
They're too, like, cookie cutter.
Yeah.
When I try to think of like somebody that stands out, it's like they stand out because they're overpowered. Like Cato Sicarius, dude can take on everything and come out on top. You've got like Tigurius, what's the dude with the big fists? The Marnius Calgar. Like these guys are like monsters, and it's just like, well, yeah, because they're the poster boys of 40K. They have to be.
Yeah.
And it's just like too mainstream, too gimmicky. I don't know.
Yeah. I also don't like the Lamenters. The Lamenters are the ones that are supposed to have bad luck.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a stupid thing. Like, that's their gimmick, really? They have bad luck?
What if there was one that they have good luck?
It'd be even worse. Next question comes from Jamie Garth. If the Tyranids are not an overtly psychic race, why are they honing in on the psychic beacon? We talked about this in yesterday's Greater Wall. They could not be. They could just be attracted to the mass. The biomass ass.
That Emperor thick.
Yeah, he a thick boy.
Joe Davidson. The new edition seems to favor minimal unit size. Do you think this was a way to counter all the complaints against GW's prices going up?
I don't think that's true, though.
No. I mean, I feel like if you have a blob of a whole bunch of like troops, it's easier for them to take objectives and hold them for longer times.
Yeah.
MSU, minimal sized units, could be a good tactic because you don't have to put all your cookies in one objective. You can kind of spread out more. That could be another tactic that people use, but I don't think that was the case. Because if anything, when GW makes new box sets, I feel like they give us less models for a higher price. Because like back in the day, you could buy like a $50 box set of guardsmen for like 20, 30 guardsmen in there. Now I'm pretty sure there was only going to be like 10 in a box for the same price.
It used to be $25.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I remember 25 for 20 or 25 for 16 for the orcs. Now we're probably going to get this new orc box with 10 boys for $60.
Inflation.
Yeah, sure, GW, sure. If that was the case, cryptos would be through the roof. But yeah. Next question comes from Evangelium. Isn't the Emperor basically the fifth Chaos God? Yeah. The God Emperor, if he is. Because we don't really know if he's manifesting as a god in the warp. That's still kind of a theory that gets tossed around. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If it does happen, cool, but at the same time, it's like I don't know, because I feel like it'd be a huge rift, and like people are gonna love it, some people are gonna hate it. Um, does that mean we finally get to have Legion of the Damned models? Will they become Primaris? Like, well, there's a lot of questions to think about, and how this would shape the future of 40k.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it.
Yeah. Next question comes from just some Bigfoot with internet access. If the Tyranids consumed a perpetual, what would the result be?
I don't think it would be like they'll become an unending race, because I feel like the hive mind's already perpetual in a sense, because it's like the hive mind sends out all these creatures, they die, they get the information gets sent back to the hive minds, they learn from it, they create new stronger creatures, which is kind of what a perpetual is in a way. So I don't think much would come out of it.
Yeah, and also I wouldn't even be surprised if like they don't actually keep that genetic makeup, because their whole thing is their success is because of the fact that an entire like half a hive fleet can be destroyed and they can just regenerate a new one. Where like I feel like that regeneration and adaptation is the benefit. If you regenerate but you're the same creature like a perpetual, then you defeat the adaptation part.
Mm-hmm. And I think some Tyranid species can regenerate already.
Right. Well, like Old One Eye.
Yeah.
They could just technically is he a perpetual?
I guess so, but I think we'll just have to keep an eye on it. J Day, do you guys ever see Korax coming back to the Imperial fold and working with Caven Shrike to reform the Raven Guard into a chapter that mirrors their former glory? Possibly even sharing his knowledge of how to embody the warp and use it against chaos. You guys have always been my favorite 40k channel and remind me of my OG 40k crew. Big time respect for how you guys have done and continue to do your channel. Thank you. Hopefully your OG 40k crew comes back stronger than ever.
Yes, and you could do that by figuring out like what their thing was. Like for us, it was always, well, for me it was lore, and then for like one of our other friends, it was always about list building and stuff like that, and try to drop little breadcrumbs so that they can come back into the fold.
Yeah.
Unless they moved, then yeah, that sucks.
Then you gotta plan a whole week-long vacation to 40k, at least one of those days.
Which I think they have. They have in Canada, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
What was this question?
Oh, do you see? I had to read it again. Do you see Corvus Corax coming back to help the Raven Guard rise to their former glory?
Eventually, but not now.
Yeah. I feel like his role would come much later. And it would be interesting to see what he's learned and what he has overcome. Because the whole thing is he left to kind of find a cure or some type of salvation for the Space Marines that were like mutating in his Legion. So to see what he's come up with would be a pretty cool take on the physiology of a Space Marine.
How hilarious would it be if like he comes back, he's like, I discovered the genetic band-aid for our Legion, and then Belisarius call comes, I was like, oh yeah, I already did that, sorry.
I thought you were going to say Corvus Corax comes back, it's like, I know how to make Primaris Marines.
Oh yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah. Next question.
This one is by Anton Tarvo. Do you think it's possible to be able to destroy anything made from necrodermis? Yeah. It's just very hard to.
Right.
The freaking bodies of the Catan are made out of necrodermis, and you can take down a Catan. Yep. It's difficult, but it's possible. And when you do rip necrodermis, their necrodermis at least, they can blow up.
Yeah. That's where you get the shards.
Yes. If that was the case, then Necrons would be unstoppable, because even the lowliest like soldier could never die.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Oh, this one's by the big one. My mom says I'm crazy for liking 40K, but I think she's actually crazy. She's a crazy hoe for not liking it. Who's right, me or her?
You got to be a little crazy to be into 40K.
Yeah, especially because at the end of the day, you are spending like $150 on a miniature knight. $150.
Right. For just pieces of plastic that you have to clip, build, paint, buy the rules for it, find somebody else who has done all this in order for you to use that piece of plastic.
And then you have to have a friend. Yeah.
Because I mean, you could just build and just have it collecting dust. But I mean, I feel like if you have the models, at least play a game. See what it's like to actually use the models you've made.
Yeah. Agreed. My phone died. Oh, there it is. This question comes from Giovanni Binny. Can Eldar or any other faction leave the galaxy? I feel like the Eldar are the best just because the craft world is self-sustaining.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need anything.
No, if they leave the galaxy, they got food, water, internet. It's all in the craft world. Just think of if Earth can move, like that's how crazy insane their craft worlds are.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like floating through space, like, oh no, the Tyranids are coming. Well, let's just move our world.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to think that the Eldar, even though they're a quote unquote dying race, their technology is still like bonkers compared to like the Imperium.
I wonder what would happen though with their psychic powers, because they are psychically powerful and leaving the galaxy. As far as we know, the Milky Way galaxy is the only place where they have
The warp.
The warp. There has been theories that the Tyranids coming in with the shadow of the warp means that there's other warps somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing, other warps. It's not this warp, because we've never had a creature from a different galaxy come through what do you call it? A warp gate.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So I wonder what would happen.
Yeah, maybe they'd lose their powers. It's interesting to see how an Eldar, who's always known warp abilities for like thousands of years of their life, just gone without one.
Yep, in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, that's like if you're losing your sense of taste and smell. Nope, that's just COVID.
Yeah. Next question.
This one is by... Oh, we already did that one. Oh, John Deacon. Could the Imperium actually pull off rescuing Isha from Nurgle? And how would they even go about doing something like that?
I mean, you could twist the lore to do that, yeah, but I don't think that there's that much. There's a lot of internet excitement, towards Isha. But if you really look at the lore, Isha is always just like in the margins of of stories.
Yeah.
She's
She's doing a lot, even being imprisoned, and what she's doing now could be the make or break it from Nurgle just taking over all of real space. Because Nurgle is as strong as he is, like he's using her to make like these new poisons, these new viruses, and then spreading them into real space. But Isha is whispering the cures to them. So even though Nurgle is creating like a huge, powerful virus bomb, creatures, Eldar, humans would know how to counter it.
right, yeah.
But I don't know. A lot of you guys want the Imperium to actually go out there, rescue her, and use her to resurrect the Emperor. That's one of the theories that have been spurring amongst you guys.
Yeah. I feel like it's a loud minority, but yes.
Exactly.
This next question comes from James Carden. Is your Geller field malfunctioning? The gateway to the warp is particularly clear now, and you can even make out 2 Slaneshi demonettes. Be careful. Love the chant. Yes, it was because the setting of last Greater Wall is there were some shenanigans going on. They'll pay off at the end.
Yeah.
Trust me. Next question.
This one is by Caney? A squad of Kedian shock troops are about to unload their jot shots and rapid fire at you. All rolled a perfect 6 to hit. You have 1 second to grab something to save your skin. What will you grab?
How many did you say?
6. Oh wait, a squad of Kedian shock troopers.
Oh, I mean, a squad could be anywhere between 5 and
Like 40,
20,
right?
40, damn.
I don't know. I think 40 is the cap for guardsmen since they're so squishy. But I mean, they're rapid firing their little lasers at you.
Terminator armor will take care of it.
Glass, because don't lasers bounce off of glass?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I wonder if that's like the biggest secret to the Eldar technology. Just glass.
Mm-hmm.
It's like these Monkai are using lasers. They don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But if you had to quickly pick something in this room to block that barrage of lasgun fire.
Oh, in this room?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just take it.
Oh. Just open wide. There's a Shrek figurine on the bottom there.
Take the Shrek. It's actually a piggy bank.
Even better. Because there's more things that the lasers have to go through to get to me.
Yeah. But if it shatters, it's like... Psh. And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening. And we'll talk to you tomorrow.
As always, this has been The Sound Alchemist.
Gersh 1.
And we are out.